Welcome to Playfully Orange, our conversations on Thursdays about arts and culture here in Central Florida. Today, my guest is Boris. Hello, Boris. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. How are you, Terry? This is such an honor. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate this.
Thanks. Well, Boris, you were not born in the United States and have an interesting route here. How did you get involved in art?
Well, it's a long story, but I'm going to try to give you the 30-second thing. I was born in Germany. My parents moved to Nicaragua when I was 5 years old. And when there was a revolution there in 1979, we escaped to the United States. And I've been here in Winter Park since 1979. I was a teacher, then the world's worst realtor, then in property management and all kinds of things. And then I had gotten to know the artist Victor Bocas. And, I always loved his successful careers. He would invite me to art openings or, stuff. And I thought, I want to be part of that, which was a very naive way of looking at it. And, I think Victor, allowed me to use his name every once in a while when I was starting. But the thing is, now in hindsight, what I have achieved, it was kind of interesting because I don't know if I would tell anybody to do this, because it took me, like it took you, almost a decade just to get my foot in the door. I mean, for me, it's been one of the most, no, it has been the most rewarding experience of my life, but it's also been a complicated story, as so.
Well, how did you get started then? So you wanted to get involved, you knew Victor, and now you have your own gallery.
I have my own gallery. And I have said this before, when I first started, I wasn't helping anybody. It was all about me. I wanted to create my brand and I was going to be rich and famous and outrageous. Well, none of that happened. And interestingly enough, as I started to pay attention to the issues that were going on in the art world, the poverty, the mental illness, the violence, the homelessness, the financial insecurity, the food insecurity, I realized there's really a lot of work that people like you and others have already started. And I really wanted to be part of the solution as opposed to the negativity. Because, I love Orlando, and I don't know if what I'm about to say is controversial. I hope not. But, look at Tampa. Like Tampa has an art scene that is almost equal to ours. And Lakeland, which is a town that I went to college in, also has an art scene that is beginning to thrive. But I know for a fact that if those towns took a major art hit with something that was going wrong, it would bring it down. And that's why I'm being so careful about Orlando, because I love Orlando. And Orlando is more than just about the theme parks. It's about what you have done with Fringe and Saks and bringing culture to our people here in Orlando.
So were you pretty young when you got here, or when you were growing up, did you experience museums or art galleries elsewhere?
No, and I'll be honest with you, because I really had no interest in art or classical music or anything like that. I was totally fascinated by American culture, the movies, the music, Coca-Cola, just getting here to the United States was amazing, because this is a haven for all of the things that people learn about worldwide. I'm actually glad I entered the art scene the way I did, meaning I've always been honest about how I feel about art. Even today, I've kind of sharpened the message. And I say that I really don't care about art. I care deeply about the artist. So here at Mills Gallery, for example, which is run by 5 people, 3 women and 2 men, I am the one that's in charge of teaching the artist how to talk in front of a camera, how to talk in front of a crowd, how to sell art. Because it turns out during an opening event, you know this, the people who sell the most art are the artists themselves. And if the artists are hiding in the bathroom because they're so nervous or drunk or high, then it's affecting my business. It's affecting your business. It's affecting the media. See, I'm beginning to understand there's this fragile eco art system here in Orlando. And when somebody is being stoned, all of us are being hurt by it. And on top of it, if the artists themselves, who are the leading drive of the Orlando art scene, if they don't have the tools to do what they're supposed to do, then nothing happens, you know?
Well, that's great. I mean, the arts community definitely needs the business people. And if you look at really great, successful artists, it's because they had somebody like you that came along and made them famous, made them rich.
Well, thank you. And in the process, I'll get famous and rich too, I hope, you know, but hasn't happened yet, but fingers crossed.
Yes. Well, where did you learn that business of the arts?
Well, I would like to tell you that I looked a lot of YouTube videos and I read a lot of books, but that would be a lie. What I ended up doing is I ended up just doing it. It is only later that
Trial and error.
when I started talking to people like you and Maxine Earhart and Barbara Hartley and, you know, Patrick and Holly Khan, that I realized that I had done something really interesting. I had started a gallery on my own without knowing anything, none of the rules, because they are rules. Now I see that they're all these rules that I just stepped on or walked through because I didn't even know they existed. I kind of actually see at what I did, and I kind of admire that because, again, if I did it today, I would do it completely different. I probably would do it by route, you know, following all the rules. Who knows if I would have gotten to where I am, you know? But
So what are rules or ways that you would give advice to somebody that wanted to become a gallerist?
well, first of all, terminology. I started as a curator, and I was told immediately I am not a curator. I am not allowed to call myself a curator. I don't have the education, the experience. I don't write. So, first of all, communicate who you are clearly to the audience. So, I'm a gallerist, and all that means is I own a gallery. That's all. But the number one rule is if you don't work with people who have a basic understanding of the game, and I don't know what better word to use here, but let's call it a game, then there's a chance you might not do good. And for me, I realized immediately that I'm actually good at talking on TV and doing interviews, but personally, I'm a very shy person. You know how I am. You know, at an event, I'm hiding in the back somewhere, you know, but now I can do this. So what I try to do is I try to give the artist, I'm trying to instill in them that they can do this, that they can address a crowd, that they can talk about their art, that they can sell the painting. Because if an artist can do that, it helps all of us, including you, because then we have a thriving art scene. And we can say, hey, people are selling art. People are comfortable buying art here. And that is one of my main goals. Do I have a business background? Absolutely not. You know, this has all been learning as I go along. Now, I am much smarter. Now, the one piece of advice I would give to anybody starting a gallery, come talk to Terry, come talk to me, come talk to Patrick and Holly Khan, to Patrick Green. Talk to the professionals who know what to do. What I did, I don't know if it can be duplicated because I was very patient and I hung in there, you know, but I'm sure it can be done easier, you know.
Great. So do you get out to see exhibitions at other galleries around town?
Yes and no. There, you know, I used to more than before because there's been some unfortunate things that have happened in my life in the last year. I lost Chris Fio, a young man who I had kind of mentored and I was trying to turn into a podcast star, and that was kind of on the heels of losing Lump, my dog, and stuff like that. So I've kind of been, I don't know what the right word, Terry, is. I've
Healing?
protecting myself, you know, because when I go out now, a lot of people deeply care about me and they ask me how I'm feeling about Lump and Chris, and it's just very painful, you know. I am beginning to go out again because I have to support the art system. And when I do, I go to events like Third Thursday or any museum show or any of the people that have shown at Mills. I try to be an active member of this community. I do.
That's great. Well, it's great talking to you, Boris Garbe, and thank you for persevering and learning and becoming an advocate for artists. We appreciate it very much.
I would like to say one final thing, if I may,
Sure.
and that is, and I hope this doesn't come across as naive, but right now the world is looking at Orlando and at the situation that we're experiencing with the Orlando Museum of Art. Um, my take on that is we don't have to enjoy this big moment of Schadenfreude that's happening. I personally, I'm going to reach out to the Orlando Museum of Art and ask them how my little gallery can help, because I think we need to support our systems. I look at the Orlando Museum of Art as a beautiful car. They didn't have a good driver. So right now, just by saying that everything is bad, that's not true. I just really want to be more positive about what's going on here in Orlando. And I know the dangers when there's a tipping point, and I'm really hoping we don't get to a tipping point here in Orlando. We have a wonderful art scene. That's all I want to say.
Well, keep up that positive attitude. Thank you all for watching this, my conversation, Playfully Orange on Thursdays. I also do on Tuesdays, Diverse Orange, talking about diversity in Central Florida. Thank you, Boris.
Thank you, Terry. It's been a pleasure.
Bye.